Hey guys, alright, we're going to do our dumbbell series workout one with legs and core. It's going to be 4 moves. We're going to do dumbbell deadlifts. You're going to need 2 dumbbells. And then we're going to do um, bicycle crunches. And then we're going to go into a goblet squat where you'll use one of your 2 dumbbells. And then we're going to finish with a rotating plank. So we'll repeat that cycle 3 times, or 40 seconds on, 20 seconds rest. And for guys, you're probably going to want somewhere between 220s, or all the way up to 60 pounds or so. Ladies, you're going to want anywhere from like 10 to 40 pounds. So start light. Remember, if you can't get at least 30 seconds of the set done, it's too heavy, go ahead and move down. If if you go the full 40 seconds and you think you could still do 4 or 5 more reps, it's too light, go ahead and move up. And just keep in mind, we're looping through these muscle groups pretty tightly, so it is definitely natural. I'm going to use 40s today, and I'm going to try to stick with that through all 3 sets. But if I was doing this where I didn't have to talk, I'm going to work out, I'd probably start 60s, and then I might have to go 55 on the second set and 50s on the third, just because we don't have a whole lot of recovery here, so the muscles are going to fatigue out, which is what we want. So let's go ahead and get started with this. We're going to start with the deadlifts. You need your 2 dumbbells. We'll get this timer going, so you just have to follow me. All right, guys. So dumbbell deadlifts. Form is critical on this one. Shoulders are down and back. My feet are just inside the shoulders. Take the deep breath in. Push the hips back. Follow the legs down until you feel the pull in the hamstrings. Flat back there. And then push the heels, come up, breathe out. Take a breath. Push the hips back and stretch. Push through the heels, breathe out. So my abs are tight the whole time. You cannot round your back on this one. So eventually this will come second nature, but you might want to kind of have a mirror close by to check your form on this one. Okay, so we got our first set in. Now we're going to switch to bicycle crunches. We're just going to go slow on these so we can feel the muscles contracting. I just got a little mat here. So there's 2 versions when you're first starting. You could have your knees bent like this and just pull one foot off the ground. It's not a bad way to go through your first couple workouts. So I'm squeezing the abs, and then my abs are still working on the way down. I'm just going nice and slow, crunching back and forth. Now, if I was going to make it harder, I'd straighten out those legs, pull the feet off the ground, so my feet never touch, and I'm just going slowly back and forth like this. Aiming that opposite elbow, doesn't have to touch, towards opposite knee. Just flexing, making them work hard. You can switch between styles. All right, so now for our goblet squat, we're just going to use one of our dumbbells. Should be about the right weight for you, based on what you did on the deadlift. So I'm holding it up chest high, holding it like a goblet. Feet shoulder width, a little wider. Take the breath, sink into it like I'm sitting in a chair, and then breathe out. Sink low as you comfortably can. So you don't want to just drop. You got to keep the muscles engaged as you get low. Sink, push to the heels, and breathe out. Abs tight the whole time. Sink, push to the heels, breathe out. Nice and slow. So this one, actually, by holding this weight out front, I'm getting a little bit of shoulder work, but quite a bit of ab work too. The core is having to stabilize this weight. All right, so we're done with that one. Now we're going to do a rotating plank, slow motion. And it's totally fine if maybe you're not ready for the rotating plank. You could just hold a straight line plank here like this. Let's move this up just a little bit. Hands are under the shoulders. Hold your plank if you want. And you can, go to the knees, take a few breaths, try to come back up. But when I rotate, I'm slow motion reaching towards the ceiling, and then I'm pushing my hip up. Slow motion back. Other side, press that hip up. Slow motion motion back, slower the better. Pushing that hip up. Just take your time here. Back up. Slowly. Almost. Okay. So that's one cycle. We're going to go back to our deadlifts. Take a few deep breaths, I'm going to start off sideways here. My shoulders are pulled back. Feet are just inside my shoulders. Take the breath. Push the hips back. Nice stretch. Come up. Exhale. So you do want to look forward here. Exhale. Take the breath. Push the hips back. Nice stretch. Pushing through the heels. Exhale. Take the breath. So you gotta keep those shoulders pulled back the whole time. It's gonna feel a little awkward at first. Okay, do a couple from the front. You can see my feet just inside the shoulders, following just past the knees. So I'm just kind of riding my legs down with that one. All right. Then we are going to go back to bicycles. So we can have our feet flat on the ground. Remember, we got two versions. It's almost best to start this way so that you can really focus on feeling the abs work. So if you're not feeling that contraction, it's no problem. It just takes practice. You gotta proactively squeeze and flex. And then when you're feeling the muscles work and it starts feeling too easy at the end of the set, then we can extend the legs out straight and we can pull one back to the other side, or I can keep them off the ground, going back and forth. Just slow, flex, flex. All right, so we're gonna do our goblet. Awesome leg exercise. So those deadlifts are hitting the whole backside. Gives you that nice butt, hamstrings. Strong butt is the key to a strong back, so you don't have any back problems. This one is going to works the whole leg, but kind of emphasizes the quads a little more. And we're working that core, taking the breath, sink into it, breathe out the top, take the breath, get low, get low. If you need to make it harder, like if you didn't, say you felt like you needed a heavier weight, but you didn't have one yet, you can come down slower, hang out for a second or two, and that's going to make it significantly harder over the whole set. So slower is harder. All right, we're done with that one. We're going to do our rotating plank, slow motion. Remember, we're going to press through those fingers, help support the wrist. You could also substitute just a regular plank on the elbows, squeezing the abs, glutes, and butt. All right. Slowly reaching up, press that hip up. Slow motion. Back and forth. Slow motion. Back and forth. Motion. Okay. So we just got to go through the cycle one more time. Gonna emphasize those hamstrings and glutes here with our deadlifts. Shoulders back. Lining up. Weights out front. Feet just maybe 6 to 10 inches apart. Take the breath. Follow those legs down, push through the heels, and exhale. Take the breath, stand up, exhale. Breath, this will also help you increase the flexibility in your hamstrings. So we're building strength and flexibility here. That's why slow control is so much better. Take the breath, push through the heels, exhale. Okay, we're getting close. We got bicycles for the last time. Awesome, all around ab exercise. Try to keep the belly button drawn down. All right. Pulling a foot, squeeze, putting it down slow. I'm not just dropping it, I'm keeping the muscles engaged. Up and down, flex, down, flex, down, flex, down, flex, down, flex, down. Nice and slow. Don't discount the easier, and it's just easier in the progression. Doesn't mean it's easy on the muscles. Sometimes those do a better job of isolating the muscle, getting you a better result. All right, we got our goblet squat. Gonna finish off the legs, emphasize the quads a little bit on this one. Abs are working, holding this weight up. Start off sideways. I'm wider than shoulder width. Take the breath, sink into it as low as you comfortably can. Stand up, exhale. Take the breath, a little low as you can. Exhale. Breath, exhale. See my feet. Back, exhale. Back, exhale. Sitting back. Oh, we're close. Almost. Okay. Now all we got to do, I'm going to move these up out of the way a little bit. Rotating, you can either do regular plank on the elbows, or we're going to do that rotating plank. This will be our last one here, and we'll do a quick little stretch. All right. Press through the fingers, hands under the shoulders, press the hip up, slow motion. Back, hip up, slow motion. I like turning slow, you can kind of feel it shift, or how it's working the abs. You can hold it here for a few seconds. Slow motion. Straight line, abs. Do not want your butt higher than your shoulders. All right, guys. Nice job. Let's turn off this timer. And we'll do a couple stretches here. Move this out of the way. Okay. So we're going to just kind of start off on the ground here. And what I like to kind of do is I'm going to fold one leg in. So I'm going to focus on the back side. I'm just going to kind of, I don't want to duck my head. I'm going to pull forward, kind of like leading my belly button towards my knee here. And so I'm not super flexible, so I can feel that. You might be able to lay a little bit lower. If you can't reach your toe, just grab here, or you can loop a towel or a stretch strap around your foot. So just breathe. I'm just kind of moving with the breath. I'm just going to just kind of do 10 to 20 seconds. Okay. Now we don't want to ever stretch cold muscles, so now that our legs are nice and worked, we're going to go ahead and just give them a light stretch. It just feels good. Not that we didn't already stretch them a little bit with the workout. It's a great way to kind of cool down. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Okay, and then I'm going to pull in both feet. I'm going to stretch out the inside of the legs here a little bit. So just gonna press down with the elbows a little bit. I'm pulling my chest forward, and you know, you can kind of just rock it a little bit, just deep breaths. You're just trying to pull, maybe press with the elbows, pull the feet in closer and closer. Stretch out those inner thighs. Deep, slow breaths. Okay, and then we're gonna switch here for the hip flexor. So for when you sit a lot, you're gonna be really tight here. So this is one you might want to do throughout the day. But you're just literally, I'm pressing this hip forward. I'm just gonna kind of breathe into it. Slow breaths. Okay, I'm going to just shift to the other side. And let's put it up. I'm going to move my hips forward, especially this right hip over here. Just breathing into it. Nice and slow. Just a few breaths. Only going to do one more stretch after this, and we're going to hit the glutes. Okay, now we're going to come back to the ground here. I'm going to lay back, I'm going to cross this leg over, and I'm going to reach my hands through here. So I'm kind of like pushing out on this leg with this elbow as I pull this knee towards me. You can just relax your head down. This one feels really good, stretching out the backside. So just breathe into it. Deep, slow breaths. Okay, and I'm going to reverse it. Reaching through, pressing out on the left leg as I pull the right knee towards me. Deep, slow breaths. This is our last stretch. Okay. Awesome job, guys.